If we give anyone an option, you want a healthy climate or not such a healthy climate, no one is going to choose option two. Everyone wants a healthy climate, right? But when it comes to the day-to-day action, we need to really make it an easy choice for everyone to do that.
Welcome to Home Green Homes, the podcast about affordable, resilient, and sustainable homes. I am Izumi Tanaka. I am a green realtor, home advisor, and eco-flipping enthusiast. On this show, I talk with green building professionals, architects, energy experts, and homeowners who are rethinking what homes can be: healthier, more energy efficient, and future ready. Whether you are a homeowner, home buyer, investor, or real estate professionals, this podcast is here to help you understand how better homes can save money, reduce emission, and add real value. Let's get into our conversation. Today's guest is Akanksha Mathur. She is the general manager for the Southern California region of Elephant Energy. Thank you so much, Akanksha, for your time today. I have a lot of things I want to ask you, but let's hear, first of all, what Elephant Energy is, and you can tell me what it does and how you are helping people.
Sure. So excited to be here, Izumi. Thank you for having me. And it's always amazing to share the work that Elephant is doing and spread the word to larger audience. So in a nutshell, Elephant Energy's mission is basically to help homeowners and make their journey, the transition journey, to switching from gas-based appliance-filled home to an electric and more cleaner and climate-friendly home.
Much needed service, as you and I both know. So Akanksha, you are relatively new at this position as a general manager for SoCal region. Tell me how you ended up at this position. I know that you have a very interesting experience or background, and I would love to hear that story again.
Of course, no. Yeah, it's been a learning journey. It continues to be a learning heavy journey. This goes back. We're in 2026 now. This this goes back almost 19 years now. I'm a mechanical engineer by training. I completed my undergrad from IIT Delhi back home in India, and my very first work or position was a field engineer working on deep water offshore rigs. So started really early, right out of college, learning operations hands-on, basically learning how to manage things when, in the real world, when outside the books. And I really enjoyed doing that, meeting a lot of experts, just learning on the job. That ended up being 7 years journey, traveling globally, meeting a lot of experts, working in a lot of different locations, building my skill set. And then I came to US in 2015, where that's when I moved out of operations. And then I was leading one of the largest ERP transformation, which is basically deploying business systems and ERP, which stands for Enterprise Planning, to our sales and operation folks across the globe. And the decision makers are building the business based on this data that is being collected on day to day from our frontline workers. I led that project for 8 years across, starting from deploying in South America to North America to Europe and further going east. And the turning point, or the pivoting point, as I call in my career journey, was when I became a mom. And we did this family trip to Iceland, where in the capital they have this museum which had an exhibit which showed how, because of geographical location of the country, they saw the first-hand impact of climate change, which made them adapt, completely convert their whole economy to 100% renewable based. And like to paint a little bit picture of that vision, like I have this exhibit which is showing me how their country looked like a few years back, how it looked today, and how it would look like if they had not done anything. And I had my almost 2-year-old running in front of that exhibit. And I think that was the trigger. and got me thinking that I built all this expertise, meeting people, traveling around the world. What am I personally doing to apply this skill set to ensure that when this next generation grows up, we did something to leave this planet, if not better, how we found it. Uh, so that's when I started reading a lot more and started exploring how do I make that transition. The journey was very humbling because I had spent 15 years doing operations in a different industry, and but I crossed path with a company called Wallbox, and which is an EV charging company. I was leading their business and sales operations for North America. And I learned a lot about the industry just in general, the challenges, the scaling challenges, and so on. And then I moved to Los Angeles in 2024. While exploring the city, I came across Elephant Energy, and after learning that it's a certified B Corp, which kind of prove how mission driven everyone in this company is, and kind of putting one and one together on what I wanted to do and like contribute, I think it just ended up becoming um, like how I was able to bring all that I had learned to a company like Elephant, who has proved the concept of that, this can be done, this is needed, very important in different climates. And now we need to bring it to state of California, which is ideal spot to be in these times where there's so much local push and more climate conscious organizations and homeowners. So, and hence here I am, learning every day and finding out ways to contribute towards the state goals.
Yes, I think it's a beautiful story how having your children and thinking about their future and how we could help to make their future better in the current, present moment. So tell me about Elephant Energy. I know that you're still fairly new, but do you know how they started? What needs were they trying to meet?
So it was started all around 4 years back by two people who embarked the journey on electrifying their homes. David Richardson, Josh Lake, who are the co-founders of the company. And I believe so they realized it's not that straightforward process, right? It involved dealing with all the different knowledge and education and perspectives that are out there, just learning about the technology, just dealing with the contractors, kind of gauging like how well do they know the technology, and then at the same time just navigating all the complicated rebates which are coming and going literally every other week, if not month. So I think they just build that into their mission, right? That clean choice needs to be a lazy and easy choice, right? And I'm very like I believe in this very strongly that yes, if we give anyone an option, you want a healthy climate or not such a healthy climate, no one is going to choose option 2. Everyone wants a healthy climate, right? But when it comes to the day-to-day action, we need to really make it an easy choice for everyone to do that. And that was the origin of the company. I think they built it their mission to simplify this journey, like the end-to-end step for any homeowners.
Mhm.
And they saw the traction. And I think that kind of where we are in Colorado right now or in Boston kind of proves that it's needed and we are on the right path.
So, what is the process of your service in terms of you are dealing directly with the homeowners who are interested in electrifying, basically just getting rid of the gas appliances to make their homes more healthy and comfortable? What's the process? What does it look like?
So the process starts with someone interested just learning about heat pumps,
Mm-hmm.
like what is the technology, and we are being a very customer focused company. For us it's like let's tell the homeowners what it's all about, right? And show the value prop. So it starts with a free consultation which is basically I as a homeowner would be giving some basic information, my utility provider, my address, and what I'm looking for. What is my problem I'm trying to solve? And then the next step with that is the system design. So our in-house expert team would use one of the most proven systems to do the system design, which has been one of the key issue in HVAC industry. There pretty much no sizing exercise that happens when you're trying to replace your HVAC, right? It's like, okay, my house had a 4-ton system. You reach out to a contractor, they will bring a new 4-ton system and just put it in their place, right?
Yes.
For us, it's like the very first step is to analyze what is the right size of the system for your home
Right.
to make it most comfortable. So our team would take all that information, come up with that is the best suited, and then we would share with that with the homeowner, along with, based on their utility and their address, we are able to identify every incentive that they would be eligible for. One of the things that very important to us is we would identify which are the rebates and incentives that we can offer at point of sale, which is basically taking all the paperwork pain away from the homeowners. And then that would bring down the upfront cost, as I was giving you some examples, right? That we like some of the projects that we did last month here in Los Angeles, like we were able to reduce the cost of like the upfront installation cost by up to 70%, in a lot of cases up to 90%,
Wow.
because a lot of these incentives are stackable, right?
Mhm.
So we would that would be the next step, and based on if the homeowner wants to move forward and have us take care of the switch, then we would take care of the equipment sourcing, the installer, making sure we have a very thoroughly vetted installer, experienced installer, do the installation, take care of all the commissioning steps, and then the incentive paperwork. And then there are the utility incentives where the homeowner has to apply. We would help like prepare all the paperwork. All they would have to do is like log in their LADWP customer portal and submit that.
Mhm.
And yeah, so kind of holding hands at every step on making sure that this is like easier and as smooth as possible, kind of going back to what our mission is, right? Like
Right.
taking all the unnecessary pain away and make it obvious and a lazy choice for anyone.
I think it's so brilliant because I have been trying to help homeowners to do the electrifying or upgrading their system, but it is so complicated. And especially, like you said, the rebates and different financial incentives come and go, like all the times. And it's so hard to keep up with. And it's so hard to figure out how to apply for rebates or how to actually get the money back, or it's very, very confusing, I have to say. And so I think that you are really feeling the needs of, what's really critical point, because a lot of people, I believe, that they give up because it just gets so complicated. So I really appreciate the work that you are doing. Now, my question, I think you mentioned earlier a little bit that in my experience, my humble experience of trying to help the homeowners, the biggest issue that I'm finding in Southern California, including Los Angeles, is the contractors. We can find the unit, so we can say, yes, we want to get heat pump water heater or heat pump HVAC, any other appliances. It's hard to find contractors who is willing to do it, or even, who is even knowledgeable of doing it. And it's just so far and, few in between, and so how are you dealing with that issue?
So I would start with highlighting, like saying that state has done a lot of work and continue to do so, right? To make this particular pain point kind of solve that for the homeowners in terms of a multiple vetted contractor directories, right? TechLean has one, TechLean California. Switches On has been one of the biggest resource for anyone. Put your zip code in and it what you're looking for, and it will list out the contractors. And these are vetted contractors. For us, in terms of what, so based on all that we have learned over 4 years in a very cold climate, right, where you would get emergency installs. You cannot imagine living without HVAC. And I think we have learned a lot through that experience. And we are grateful or lucky that we are coming to, not an extreme climate,
Mhm.
but with all that extreme learning, right? Which helped us build a really thorough and vetted process on how we identify or how we select our subcontractors, right? It's not really like just going and having them sent to
Mhm.
a home. It's more like they have to go through a certain trainings. They have to learn what are our standards of working. Reason being that when we are doing a project for a homeowner, the homeowner is not dealing with the installer. We are the front face, right? So it's our responsibility to make sure it's the best experience for them. So yeah, so the standard process for us to identify the customers or find the contractor is that we would go through their past work. We would have them spend bunch of hours in the training, if possible, for them to see what work we do in Colorado and other markets, and now in Southern California, what we have done already, and build our network that way, so that we are working with a very experienced and thorough and knowledgeable partners, with like keeping the most important thing at the top, which is the customer experience.
Yes.
So yeah, so like in terms of resources, that's what I would highlight. And for us, we are very, very cautious on who we are working with.
Yes, so glad to hear because I have actually looked for contractors on switches on site, and even the ones that have HERA certification, which is the Inflation Reduction Act rebate program, where Clean California has certified certain contractors with their own certification badge and HERA badge. And I've called a couple of contractors listed there that says heat pump water heater, heat pump HVAC. And still, when I call them, they say, oh, that's not my favorite system to install, you know? So it's really frustrating. So you are eliminating that step for homeowners. And that's really, really helpful. Now, so how are you reaching the homeowners and, and who are coming to you? Like, do they already know that they want to electrify, or do you have to do that basic education of telling them why we should consider heat pump? And that's also, I've also found that that's big challenge, especially the cooktop. You
Yes.
know, I'm in real estate, obviously. So people tend to value those industrial level gas stove, even though those major makers, Wolf and Thermador, all these high end cooking appliances manufacturers are now making induction. People are still very attached to gas cooking. So how do you overcome the homeowners sort of bias in some way or
Yes.
perception?
Yeah. No, and that's a great question. And honestly, like over the last few months, we have talked to a lot of homeowners. And so far, it's been a pretty good mix of the ones who have done their homework and they know what a heat pump is or a heat pump water heater is, and they understand a little bit of the value prop, right? That one, it's going to bring down my gas usage. It's like 300 to 400% more efficient,
Right.
which means that over time, my expenses, my bill is going to be very comparable, right? And then there are customers who have solar, right? So which is like for them, if they have a gas furnace or they have a gas cook stove, like going electric is the next step. Then you are just kind of reducing your overall footprint. You're literally just like reducing your gas bill expenses. And then obviously there are customers who heard somewhere there's something called heat pump. And a lot of organizations are, I would say, are doing their part in the homeowner education, in terms of spreading the word about the new technology,
Right.
which is, I would say, unfortunately, not as well known in Southern California. And it's mix of reasons, right? We don't have extreme climates.
Right.
So there are so many older traditional homes which don't even have HVAC.
Mhm.
Over, like, I've been here for less than 2 years, and just in that short time, I've seen the change, right? We had the fires last year. We are already seeing 80 degrees during the daytime, and it's only January. Like, I don't even want to think about summer. So there are people who are starting to think about their, if not heating needs, cooling needs for sure.
Mhm.
So, so it one of the step of the process that we are heavily focusing currently is the education, which is, and you asked me how do we reach out. So a lot of ways that we have come across, like we hosted a rebate webinar earlier this month. Again, it's all about, it's not that people don't want to switch, it's like they don't know it exists.
Exactly.
So we are kickstarting weekly drop-in sessions, free sessions starting this week for anyone who wants to learn what this is about, how much I can save if I want to switch. They can just come and ask us questions. And it's all, again, like going back to the mission, being mission driven. We are trying to partner with a lot of organizations in where we
Mhm.
can come in person and talk to
Mhm.
their neighborhoods
Right.
and tell them how great their utility rebates are right now, how great Go Zero rebates are right now. And then your zip code actually falls in that sweet spot where you can stack all these and save thousands of dollars in your install, right? So education has been a very strong first step for us so far. When you start showing people in terms of how much more efficient this system is going to be, how you are not going to have a very cold room and a very hot room in your house, it will all be same and much more comfortable. And then obviously, like, the value prop for heat pumps, which is the high air quality, which is so important and a consistent concern in LA, which it solves for the indoor air quality, particularly for younger families, right? We have talked to people who have infants and they're really concerned with all the post fire, all that we have seen, consistent being a concern. So yeah.
So, what are the appliances that you are dealing with? Water heater and HVAC. Do you also do the dryer, heat pump dryer, or induction stoves,
Yes.
or the
So
electric stoves?
electricity, yes. So we do wiring for the electric stuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Reason being that, again, based on our past experience, people want to pick what kind of cook stove they want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kitchen, it's the heart of the house.
Yeah.
So people can be very specific about it.
Yes.
So what our add-on as a cook stove service is, like, we will do all the wiring so that
Mm.
homeowner can go purchase whichever model they want and just hook it up. In terms of, we another thing we would do is EV charger. So if you are getting heat pump installations or a water heater installation with us, and you also want to get an EV charger, we would take care of that for you. And the fifth thing on the list is the solar. So solar is more like work on the partnership basis. So we would have a solar partner. So if you're interested in heat pump and you also want to do, like, a whole home electrification, we would help you find a solar, or we will bring a solar installer on the project and have that taken care.
I see. So now let's zoom into where you are serving. I know that Elephant recently opened up Southern California. What
Yes.
areas are you currently serving, and what are your future plans for expanding that service area?
So I'll be honest, right now, like, we have done installations from, I'm gonna think of like some of the extreme cities we have gone, from Rancho Cucamonga to Whittier to Huntington Beach. So our goal right now is, again, like, anyone who comes to us, unless it's, and again, LA is just such a complicated city, right? So we are still building our learning around it. While we are very open to doing installs, up until, I would say, Long Beach to certain limits in Valley,
Mhm.
everything in between LA County, we are there. And And yeah, like I think our key for like key areas so far that we have seen the traction from has been around Glendale, Burbank, Pasadena,
I
and the
see.
LA City.
I see. And you do, I hope, plan on expanding to
100%.
deeper into California, right?
Yes, no,
Yeah.
that's definitely is the vision, is the goal, is that as we start seeing more and more traction,
Mm-hmm.
and we are open to come to a city and, as mentioned, right, like come and give a talk, come
Right.
and just tell about the technology. As we start seeing a more and more traction, and
Right.
we are going to just expand outside like Southern California, the
And
and
Central California
right in
probably
Central California,
needs
it's a
a
big one.
lot of
Yes,
that. Yes,
yes,
because they have extreme heat and a lot of pollution,
yeah,
in the Central
exactly, yeah.
Valley. So, how can people find Elephant Energy or you?
So the best way would be our website,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're looking, if someone is, as we were talking about some of the resources, we are also on Switches On, we are also
Mm-hmm.
on TechLean California list. But the best way would be, if you want to just, there's a call, there's an email, or just reach out to me. I am on LinkedIn. And yeah, I would love to talk and then just talk more about heat. It has become a hot topic with
Yeah.
any neighborhood conversation these days. Just trying to learn and, tell people more about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, come find us, and then we would love to help and, just add to more to your learnings and
Mm-hmm.
tell you more about it.
Great. So I want to ask you three questions before we stop. So one, what are you most proud of in your personal life? Well, I'm so proud of you to be doing this as Elephant Energy, but is there anything that you feel proud of as a mom or as as a resident of Los Angeles that you are doing to help this environmental crisis that we are
Yes.
facing?
No, sure. Like I would definitely, I have to start with how I completely transitioned my career from something totally opposite
Mm-hmm.
into it. And that's what I want to do for rest of my working life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one special point that I would love to add is, even though I've only been here less than 2 years, for like just the, I would say, the vibe, or the receptiveness and the welcoming, how welcoming this city has been. It's been like the perfect place for me to be in doing that work. I don't think in my 19 years of career, honestly, like I've ever built so many relationship, and not just professional, right? Just with the people who think the same way, who are concerned about all that's happening around the climate and are passionate about contributing. So yeah, so I would just say, like, very proud of being able to contributing towards what city wants to achieve and where they need to be, because it's just so well aligned.
Mm-hmm. Well, so at the same token, what do you find most challenging? That I have a lot of things that I feel frustrated and challenging. What about you? What do you have?
I would just say, based on some recent experiences, the hardest would be, again, going back to something that I referred to at the very beginning, is like we just have to make the clean choice the choice, the easy choice,
Right.
right? And it, because when someone thinks about their day-to-day life, like we put ourselves in that day-to-day life, right? I have 10 different things to do with the daily chores, and like
Mm-hmm.
need to take care of family and work and everything. So when a clean choice, starting from as simple as how do I dispose my plastics in the house,
Mm-hmm.
to, right, to the bigger decisions on switching from a gas furnace to a heat pump, right? I would say that's the most, that like the way our community or economy is built right now, it's not an easy choice for
Yeah.
anyone or everyone.
100% I am with you. 100%. So what if you had a magic wand
Mhm.
and change something in this world that's going to make it better? What would that be?
I would just say, and this is one of the first very funny but silly thing that comes to my head would be, very simple day-to-day steps in terms of making the disposing of anything renewable easy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which where it doesn't feel like I need to make three extra steps
Yeah.
to do that,
Yeah.
right? And there
Yeah.
are a lot of organizations and a lot of efforts going towards it, but we have a very long way to go.
Yes.
And at the same time, like the magic would just tell people more about why the clean choice is an easy choice and should be their obvious choice. All the resources that they can leverage to take that step.
Well, I agree 100%. So with Elephant Energy's help, people can now make an easy choice to go all electric, right?
Yes, 100%. Yes,
Yes.
yes, for sure. Like that's the core mission, right? Make it simple, make it easy, take all the pain away. That's why we are exist, and make it affordable. However, and yes, like let us help you help yourself in terms of how to make this more journey like really painless and I would say more exciting than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much, Akanksha, for this time, and I really enjoy talking to you. And please, best of luck with
Thank you.
Elephant Energy effort. And I hope you will get to be all over California and help thousands of homeowners.
I really appreciate your kind words, Izumi. Thank you for giving me this opportunity about sharing all the learnings and all the work that we are doing. And we are really excited to be here and just, find our ways in talking to different organizations who are also dedicated to the same mission and multiply our efforts and achieve the goals what city has set for itself.
Yes. Well, let's work together on that.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
Akanksha. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Home Green Homes. If you found this episode useful, please subscribe and leave a review or share it with someone who cares about better homes and better future. I am Izumi Tanaka, and until next time, here's to creating homes that are healthier, more resilient, and truly future ready. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and check the description for resources and links. Thank you for being part of the Home Green Homes community.